I sit in the stylist's chair as he begins to cut my hair. How do I want it? No, not short. Just a little trim. Maybe a substantial trim, but trim, like 6 inches. This was 15 months after our pandemic shut down, and as it was, I'd already been long overdue for a haircut before we went into shutdown. And by then, my hair had gotten so long that when I tried to turn in bed, it would hold me back. And by then, it had turned mostly white. As he started circular motions, trimming my hair with his shears, I began to think of the many silver linings moments in my life. And I envisioned in my mind's eye a passport picture, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and the youngest, a 4-year-old, me. Behind us leaned my mother, a beautiful young woman of the 1950s with profound eyes and hair as black as onyx. She had given everything up in pursuit of the hope that by moving to North America, we would find a cure for my malignant cancer, which would be a serious companion of my mother's and I for many years thereafter. She had been pregnant with twins when she undertook the journey. The arduous aspect of the trip resulted in her loss of the pregnancy, but she didn't lose her tenacity. She would stay with me in hospital vigils day after day. And as that happened, while I lingered between life and death, a white streak of hair started traveling too soon for her youth across her forehead, as if it were white sea foam in a dark ocean. Snip, 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 snip. My mother handled her stress with art. I would sit mesmerized watching her as she pushed oil of green and blue and made it into either translucent pools or roiling waves, black and brown into craggy rocks that the ocean would crash against, and grays and whites into white caps and sea foam. In those waves, and in the wave of silver across my mother's hair, I would see a story of fortitude. Time passed. I grew up into a young woman and an increasingly older woman. My mother had been so self-confident that she never bothered with adjusting the shape of her hair, let alone the color of her hair. Not me. I was constantly looking for something right, and I was going to push every strand of age away with color: chestnut, auburn, medium brown, dark brown. Once I even was crowned with this coppery red that was a mistake. Snip, 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 snip. I'm still remembering. But at one point, the hairstylist stops. I continued that pursuit of youth through the color of my hair until one day I saw Jamie Lee Curtis, the actress, and her pixie hair that was short and silver. And I heard her say that aging is pure evolution, that when she discovered what it was to be herself, she no longer had to try to be anybody else. And with that, I let it go. The hairstylist stops for a moment. I reached down to pick up a strand of the silver hair, 6 inches from the floor. He said, "What do you want that for?" I said, "This is the closing of a sacred circle. When my mother died, I found among her things a small envelope in which there was tied by a slender satin thread a lock of my hair. She had cut it before I went into my first operation, almost convinced that I was not going to come out of it alive. And so I told my hairdresser, this is a celebration of the power of a mother's love. I now see in the creases and wrinkles and laugh lines of my face, the face of my mother. I see in the waves of my hair, the seascapes that she used to draw and paint. I am at one with her. I am at one with myself. And when I look in the mirror, I see the bright spirit of her life through the years, and I recognize at last the silver linings that time brings.